It is not unusual in a relationship for one person to have a much better idea about the financial state of the relationship in the family than the other person. And this can take a number of forms. Perhaps one person has been the one who's made the money, and the other person has basically been the one who's taking care of paying the bills and doing the investments and knows how the family works financially. Although the other person is perfectly capable and knowledgeable of what those things are all about and could do them. They're just not used to doing them. Or the other situation is when one person really doesn't have a lot of knowledge about, what is a registered versus a non-registered investment, how do stock options work, those kinds of things. It's just not in their sphere of knowledge. It hasn't been anything they've needed to know about, and so they haven't. Now they find themselves in a situation where they are separating and they're trying to negotiate an agreement around their finances, and they're scrambling to catch up with what are all these things, and am I actually doing the right thing, and is what I am being told actually valid and correct, and can I trust my spouse to tell me the truth about things? And this is certainly, if you're in that kind of a situation, you definitely don't want to be doing these negotiations around the kitchen table, the two of you, because you don't know what it is that you are being told. And it's not about the other person trying to pull the wool over your eyes or not being honest. It's just when you need to be able to feel comfortable that what you are agreeing to and what you are being told is reasonable and fair and makes sense to you. And without knowing how these things work, that's pretty hard to do. So when I have a couple in my office where that kind of power imbalance exists, one of the things that I talk to both people about is that, okay, the person who doesn't have the knowledge has got to be willing to gain the knowledge, has got to be willing to spend some time, and I can help them with that. Other people can help them with this, to gain the knowledge of what all these things are. And the person who already has the knowledge has to back off from expecting the other person to move as fast, understand as quickly, or make agreements as fast, because they are starting from a different power position, if you like. This does not have to become a power imbalance. If you like, all of these power imbalances is how you use it. If you just recognize it for what it is, and both parties are willing to take steps to right that, then there's not a power imbalance. There's just a process step that we have to go through. If one or other person is not willing to, if they're not willing to get yourself educated, or if you're not willing to slow down and let the person catch up, then you're going to have difficulty having a really civilized divorce, because you're going to have to let other people deal with it for you. You're going to have to go to a lawyer and say, you tell me whether it's okay or it's not okay. And a lawyer in that situation who is going to have to give you complete and detailed advice and support, because unless you can say, I know what I'm doing, then they're going to have to bring the full weight of the law and the legal process to bear in order to make sure that you're properly protected and that they're not liable for telling you to do something that you didn't understand what you were doing. So get yourself educated, cool your jets, depending on what side of the equation you're on, and recognize that one person may just have some catching up to do.